In the world of boxing, there are nights that transcend the sport, nights when the ring is not just a battlefield but a stage where legacies are written in sweat, blood, and memory. For decades, fans have debated what happens when two pound-for-pound kings finally collide. Now the stage is set for a confrontation that has left the boxing world buzzing with speculation, predictions, and fevered anticipation. On September 13, 2025, inside the colossal Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada, Terence "Bud" Crawford will step through the ropes to face Canelo Álvarez. It is more than just a fight. It is a clash of generations, a question of greatness, and perhaps the night when one man's story finally eclipses the others. From the beginning, the fight has stirred emotions. Fans and analysts alike are divided, though an unexpected wave of support has gravitated toward Crawford. There is a certain aura surrounding him now, one that makes even the most cautious observers lean in his direction. Say Crawford, one fan declares without hesitation when asked about the outcome. Immediately. They're not even debating it. But is this collective confidence misplaced? Is the world underestimating Canelo, or is this truly Bud Crawford's destiny? Time, as it always does in boxing, will tell. Max Kellerman, a veteran commentator and one of the sport's most trusted analysts, warns against underestimating the danger Crawford poses to Alvarez. He speaks with measured words, like a man who has studied the geometry of the ring his entire life. Canelo needs to be careful, he explains, because Crawford could be the one to retire him. Crawford is sharp, twitchy, with deceptive timing. He studies his opponents in the early rounds, then unleashes precise, powerful punches. That kind of adaptability is dangerous for Canelo. Strength alone won't be enough. Kellerman's cautionary words echo the sentiments of many within the boxing community. For all of Canelo's power, his granite chin, his years of experience against larger men, there remains the lingering question of whether he can handle a fighter like Crawford. Terence is not just another opponent. He is a puzzle, a technician who blends patience with ferocity, who reads the ring like a seasoned chess master. Crawford's strength lies in his ability to adjust. Few fighters in the history of the sport can match his mid-fight transformations. He starts slow, probing, studying, lulling his opponent into a rhythm. Then, like a predator, he strikes with devastating efficiency. It is this ability to adapt that has made him undefeated across multiple divisions, and now, on the cusp of history, it is what many believe could overwhelm Alvarez. Among those firmly in Crawford's corner is an unlikely voice from the world of basketball, Shaquille O'Neal. Known globally for his dominant career in the NBA, Shaq has also been a lifelong fan of combat sports, attending fights, sparring for fun, and never shying away from offering his opinions. When asked about the mega fight, Shaq's response is immediate, confident, and emphatic. "I gotta go Terence Crawford," he says without hesitation. "He's the best ever." Pressed further, Shaq clarifies his stance. "You have to understand there are different eras. In basketball, for example, Nikola Jokic is the greatest big man right now, even if he plays in a different era than me. The same applies to boxing. This is Crawford's time. He's the best fighter of this generation. Floyd never lost, sure, but right now Crawford is the one. And against Canelo, he's not just going to win. He's going to knock him out." For Shaq, the fight represents not just a collision of stars, but a chance for Crawford to permanently etch his name into history. He sees in Bud the rare combination of timing, precision, and composure under pressure that separates the great from the legendary. Timothy "Desert Storm" Bradley, the former world champion and now a respected analyst, is equally adamant. He addresses the whispers surrounding Canelo's preparation, particularly the revelation that Canelo had enlisted Jaron "Boots" Ennis as a sparring partner. Some speculated this was a psychological blow to Crawford, knowing Canelo was sharpening his tools against one of the sport's rising stars. Bradley dismisses the notion with fiery conviction. "Crawford ain't scared. Team Crawford ain't never scared. Y'all better get it right. I've sparred this man. I know what he's capable of. He's like Jordan, Kobe, LeBron. He's a GOAT. He's got Mayweather in him. He's got Ali, Sugar Ray Robinson, Hagler, Duran. You think this is a game? Crawford is a different animal. He will figure Canelo out. I promise you." Bradley's words carry the urgency of someone who has seen greatness up close. He speaks of Crawford with reverence, as though describing not just a fighter but a force of nature. Adding even more intrigue to Crawford's preparation is the reported involvement of Floyd Mayweather Jr. Mayweather remains one of the few men to have outclassed Canelo, doing so with surgical precision in 2013. His blueprint was built on defense, counter-punching, and frustrating Canelo into mistakes. Now, more than a decade later, Mayweather's insights may be fueling Crawford's camp. Sources suggest Floyd visited Crawford's training sessions, offering advice about discipline, patience, and the small openings that exist within Canelo's style. If true, Crawford now possesses not only his own brilliance, but also the wisdom of the man who once solved the Canelo puzzle. Crawford's preparation does not stop there. He has also been sparring with Andre Ward, the undefeated former champion widely regarded as one of the smartest fighters in modern history. Ward's presence in camp elevates the training environment, forcing Crawford to adapt to elite-level strategies and sharpen his already formidable ring IQ. Together, Mayweather's defensive genius and Ward's technical mastery form a crucible of preparation that few fighters in history have enjoyed. Ward himself has spoken about the fight, framing it as a monumental moment not just for the fighters, but for the sport. Fights of this magnitude are rare, Ward reflects. Too often, politics prevent the best from fighting the best. But here we have two pound-for-pound greats colliding at their peak. No excuses, no delays. Boxing wins on this night, no matter what happens. But if Crawford has the support of legends, analysts, and celebrities, Canelo remains far from dismissed. For all the doubts, there is still the unshakable fact of his greatness. He has fought everyone: Triple G, Sergey Kovalev, Callum Smith, Daniel Jacobs, and more. He has carried the sport on his shoulders for over a decade. His power has crumpled larger men. His chin has withstood the bombs of the hardest hitters. Even those backing Crawford admit the truth. If Canelo lands flush, it could change everything. The question then is which version of Canelo Álvarez will show up in Las Vegas. Critics argue that his recent performances have lacked the sharpness of his prime. They point to slower feet, reduced explosiveness, and moments of vulnerability. To beat Crawford, many insist Canelo must return to the relentless pressure fighter he once was, the man who walked down opponents with heavy combinations and suffocating stamina. Anything less, and Crawford could pick him apart. Training footage has fueled the debate. Clips of Canelo's workouts show him working on southpaw strategies, trying to line up his lead foot outside Crawford's, setting up right hands down the pipe. Yet to some, his movements appear labored, his cross-stepping ill-suited for an opponent as slick as Crawford. Every wasted movement is an opening for Crawford, one analyst explains. Canelo will stand in the pocket, he'll look to land, but Crawford will make him pay. Crawford's own training clips, by contrast, have silenced doubts about his move up in weight. Once seen as a natural lightweight, Bud now appears bigger, stronger, and more comfortable at 168 pounds than anyone expected. He looks sharp, agile, but also physically imposing, a rare combination that suggests he may have carried his power and speed into the higher division without compromise. Comedian and actor Faizon Love captures the sentiment shared by many fans in his blunt assessment. Crawford's a bad man, he says. Doesn't matter who Canelo's fought before. This is about now. Crawford is in his prime, hungry, and ready to prove it. He's going to win, end of story. The betting odds, however, tell a different story. According to the sportsbooks, Canelo enters as the favorite at minus 172, while Crawford sits as the underdog at plus 151. On paper, the odds makers still lean toward Canelo's size, experience, and power. Yet in barbershops, gyms, and online forums, a groundswell of belief in Crawford continues to grow. The underdog label seems only to fuel the narrative of an upset in the making. Max Kellerman sums up the magnitude of the event in his own way. Having covered some of the biggest fights of the modern era, Mayweather versus Pacquiao, Anthony Joshua versus Vladimir Klitschko, Kellerman insists that Canelo versus Crawford may surpass them all. This might turn out to be number one, he says. Because of Netflix, it will be the most watched championship fight in almost 50 years. The last time we saw something on this scale was Ali versus Leon Spinks in 1978, when 90 million people watched. Since then, the biggest fights have all been pay-per-view. This fight will be free, global, historic. The thought lingers in the air. Could this fight not only decide greatness inside the ring, but also change the way boxing is consumed worldwide? With Netflix streaming the bout, millions who might never have bought a pay-per-view will tune in, ensuring that the night will echo beyond sports pages into cultural history. As the countdown to September 13th ticks closer, both fighters sharpen themselves for destiny. Canelo, the Mexican warrior, carrying the pride of his nation and the weight of expectation. Crawford, the undefeated champion from Omaha, Nebraska, determined to prove that skill, adaptability, and hunger can conquer size, reputation, and history. And so the voices continue. Shaq declares, "He's the best ever." Bradley shouts, "He's a GOAT." He's Ali, he's Mayweather, he's Jordan. Kellerman warns, he could retire Canelo. Ward reminds us, boxing wins no matter what. And Faison Love laughs, Bud's a bad man. Each perspective, each prediction, adds to the cinematic build of a fight that already feels like a legend before the first bell has rung. In the end, one truth remains. Only the ring can answer the question. And on that September night, under the bright lights of Las Vegas, the world will watch as two men step forward to define not just themselves, but an entire era of boxing. The bell will ring, the crowd will roar, and history will wait to be written.